Thick and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You want to protect her. You'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and...
Oh, come on, man, really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-8787. That's 1-800-280-8787. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-8787. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Brian Peabody.
My biggest thing is get back. If you don't get back in transition D, you'll never play.
I got one of your former players at Greenfields here.
Player is very generous. I was not a player. I was just the guy who sat around on the bench. I was on your second team back in '92, way back when.
We didn't have a second team. We only had 6 players. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying, yeah, and I wasn't even good enough to be on that rotation, so there you go.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9318. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-9318. That's 800-575-9318. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Today on Hey Culligan Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of the tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun.
Jim Babette.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize,
DK, still nobody online.
happen.
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can also interact with this program on our app. So download our app because our app slaps. In fact, text the word app to 520-848-1290, and I will send you a code to where you can have our app. And you can take it wherever you want to go. And there's some good information on our app right now. If you go there, in case you hadn't heard, the Diamondbacks made a trade. They need pitching. All the pitchers are getting hurt. So the Diamondbacks acquired some bullpen depth yesterday, getting right-handed reliever Matt Bowman from the Minnesota Twins. So that is on our app right now. You can read about the trade. Also, Jim Furyk has been dealing with some injuries on the Champions Tour this year. He has had longtime popular caddy Mike Fluff Cohen on his bag. But this week, Jim Furyk and Fluff Cohen parted ways amicably. They've been together for 25 years because Cohen has an opportunity to go and work on the PGA Tour with Taiwanese pro CT Pan. And so he is going to go and do that. I mean, that's just, as Jim Furyk said, that's an economics thing. Fluff's got to make money, and I'm not playing right now.
They get a certain cut percentage, right, negotiated before, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but, you know, it's based, a lot of it, I think a lot of those caddy fees or caddy salaries are based on what you're making weekly at those events. And if you're not playing any events, there's no money coming in.
Well, that too. I just meant like if you're the groundskeeper at a single A ballpark versus a major league ballpark, salary's probably a little different.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can read about that. Jim Furyk's comments on Fluff going back to caddy in the PGA.
25 years, DK, that's a long time.
It is. I mean, again, Fluff was Tiger's caddy for a number of years when Tiger first got going, and then he went over to Jim Furyk's bag, and again has been Furyk's right-hand man for a long time. And hopefully Furyk will. Obviously we did not see him this year at the Cologar Classic, and hope to see him. At least on some events as the summer goes along, and then maybe back here in Tucson next year.
I love Jim Furyk. I think the fact that Jim Furyk, went to school here, and he's probably got the funkiest little hitch in his swing for a person that's so successful, right? Like for a golfer who's had a top of the money leaderboards all time wins, but has that little hitch in his swing. And so many golfers are so mechanical and just so robotic with their swings. And I just love the fact that Jim Furyk swings a little bit different.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290 is the number. You can call us at that number. Again, you can text us at that number. I mentioned before the break, FC Tucson is going to be playing for the first time this weekend. It is a friendly match, so it's not the actual beginning of USL 2 play this weekend, but the fellas will be on the pitch at Keno North Stadium on Sunday for a friendly against Selección Guanajuato, and that will be a 7 o'clock kickoff. So head on out there and support the guys. They've got a whole new coaching staff this year. Sebastian Pineda will be the head coach, manager for this second season in League 2. He was an assistant for both the League 2 and the League 1 clubs the past 2 years. As you might remember, FC Tucson went back to League 2 last year, dropping down from the professional level, which was League 1. So Sebastian Pineda has assisted at both of those levels, more than capable of taking over now that role leading FC Tucson. He is a former FC Tucson player back at this League 2 level back in 2015 and 2007. He's also spent some time as an assistant coach for the University of Arizona women's soccer team. So looking forward to seeing what Sebastian Pineda can put out there this year. The team will not be at full force as players obviously are still finishing up their college semesters. However, they are expected to have several local players on the pitch this weekend, including a Pima College All-American and FC Tucson Academy players DeAndre Pickett, as well as Brandon Sanchez. So looking forward to that. Again, it is FC Tucson and Selección Guanajuato. That'll be over at Keno North Stadium at 7 o'clock on Saturday, and there's going to be all kinds of things happening there. Sunnyside Mariachis will perform $5 margaritas. $5 margaritas. It is, after all, Cinco de Mayo on Sunday. So if you want your $5 margaritas as well as $5 Modelos, now that might be a little high for Modelo, but the $5 margarita, that is definitely a deal.
It depends how big the Modelo is.
Okay. Well, yeah. If it's one of those big ones, then $5 maybe is not a bad deal at all. We mentioned Sebastian Pinedo is taking over the men's team. The women's team also has a new coach this year. They're going to be opening up play as well. Their season starts closer, I believe, to June, but they've got a new coach this year in Roberto Garcia. In fact, Roberto Garcia will take over. Callie Carter is the new assistant coach for the FC Tucson women. Coach Garcia will be the third coach in the history of the FC Tucson women, but he's no stranger to local soccer. He has been in the FC Tucson community for a long time as the director of coaching with the FC Tucson Girls Youth Program. He's been in that role for the last 5 years, and so his vision has helped lead 5 separate FC Tucson youth girls teams to state championship appearances in 2019. So looking forward to Coach Garcia taking over that role. It was the one, obviously, that Kelly Pierce held for a very long time, and they've had a number of seasons of success in a row, have the FC Tucson women playing in the WPSL, and so that season will get underway in late May is when the ladies will start playing. They'll play their first home game at Keno North Stadium on June the 1st. So they'll play home games on June the 1st, June the 7th, June the 8th, June 22nd, and July 7th. So 5 home matches for the ladies this year on their schedule. The men will play this exhibition game, this friendly, on May the 5th. They will also play another friendly a week from this coming Sunday on May the 12th. That'll be against the Arizona Wildcats men's club soccer team. And so that'll start as well at Keno North Stadium at 7 o'clock. Then they will also play a game against, I believe this will be their first actual USL League 2 game of the year. And that's going to be, they're going to play that over at Desert View High School on May the 18th. That'll be against Sporting Arizona Football Club. And then they'll head out onto the road, be back June 11th, June 15th, June 21st for games in USL League 2. And they'll finish out their home schedule with games on June 28th. July the 3rd will be the fireworks game this year. That'll be a Wednesday night against Arizona Arsenal Soccer Club. And then the final 2 home games of the summer will be on July 9th and July the 14th out at Keno North Stadium. So all the action will be at Keno North Stadium except for that one game on May the 18th, which will be over at Desert View High School. That will be the summer schedule for FC Tucson this year. 520 again, 848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Sorry, J-Dub.
Perlman just called in.
Okay, let's go out to the hotline and talk, in fact, some FC Tucson soccer. We are joined by the team president, John Perlman, joining us now. John, how are you?
Dave, great to talk to you. Just wanted to give you props. I really love this show. You're always having team athletes on and local athletes, and you're doing an amazing job. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, John. We always enjoy having you guys on, and the season is here already. It starts with a friendly this Sunday night, we were just talking about how the entire squad won't be here just yet because school's not out. I mean, obviously school just ending here, but a chance to get some guys on the field and start to ramp up for this second season of League Two action.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Obviously, we have the Cinco de Mayo game, and it's going to be an incredible atmosphere, with fireworks after. We're playing Selección Guanajuato, which is an opportunity for us to play some of the best players in Tucson that play in the fantastic Guanajuato Men's League, plus some players up from Mexico. They've been training here during the week in the facility, which we've shared with them so they could have that opportunity. And really, it's going to be a celebration of Tucson soccer. But you're right. We have a couple guys, that are already in, which is great. But we also have the guys that we signed locally that we're really happy to have. And two specifically, obviously, you've got, Brandon Sanchez, who was an All-American, and DeAndre as well from Pima, also an All-American. So DeAndre Pickett, Brandon Sanchez are part of our squad. Those are two All-Americans from Tucson. They'll be featuring significantly, obviously, in that match.
So the second year, you obviously have a new coach, Sebastian Pineda takes over, but obviously somebody that's very familiar with the program, has been with the last two on both the League One and League Two levels. What are your expectations for Sebastian as he kind of takes over now?
I'm thrilled. I mean, really, he was somebody that I really saw as a player even in 2017. I knew he wanted to get into coaching, and it was always my hope that someday I would be able to work with him. I had that opportunity as soon as I could. I hired him away from Duquesne, become part of my USL League One staff. He was tremendous there. And last year, obviously, for me, he was really the coach in waiting, because I really just wanted somebody young, somebody who had captained the team, somebody really had put in so much time with FC Tucson, both as a player and as a coach. And it's somebody that I really felt great about. He's really just such a dynamic guy, speaks 3 languages, obviously, including Spanish. He really fits in well with his community. He plays, in that league as well, in the Guanajuato League for fun. And he really embodies everything about Tucson. He loves it here. He's made it his home, and he stayed around even after the pro team went away to contribute. He's been working with our academy players. So really, he was the ideal fit for this year's team. And, I just couldn't be more proud to be able to, help him and facilitate that. And, the players love him, and he's just I think he's going to bring us nothing but wins and joy.
What, any difference, anything new with USL League Two this season?
Yeah, I mean, for us, really the league itself, we've added, 2 more teams in our conference, so it gets more competitive every time. We obviously, are looking to, have a season like we did last year. We, Mark did a great job. We did have 7 wins, 4 draws, only 1 loss. We were undefeated at home. But obviously for us, really it's the changes. We have really an opportunity to use some more local guys, which is something that we kind of really wanted to get to. Start using our academy guys and transitioning them, and really have that full pathway. But it's really about us getting back into the postseason. I mean, as a League Two team, we had only missed it twice. The first year was in the Open Cup, and we had never been to an Open Cup third round, and realized it kind of told that traveling in vans to San Diego and Houston can take on you. And, and then obviously last year and just was unlucky where we're in a position where Ventura was able to throw out an academy team in their last game against the second-place team, really sort of de facto eliminating us from postseason without us having control of that. So I think the key thing for us, Dave, is to control all of our controllables, have great results at home and on the road, and make sure we're performing from the get-go. And these first friendly matches are critical for us to get that sharpness in.
And a new staff as well this year on the FC Tucson women's side. You bring up Roberto Garcia, who has worked a lot with the youth female side of it. What was the mindset behind having him take over the WPSL side?
Yeah, I think, with him and Kaylee working so hard on the GA side, the Girls Academy with our youth, we really wanted the integration of the youth into our club, and to give those young players, which is really was the initial focus of us having WPSL and USL League Two here, was to give players like Hope Heisey, like Donnie Toya, like Nick Marshall, like Ricardo Velasco, these players we saw with the highest end potential to get games here at the highest level, and to get coaches that experience too. I mean, Roberto's very committed to not just the players, but someone like Katie, who's really young. Kaylee Carter, who's a young up-and-coming coach who had played for the team, really to help her mentor in that realm as well as mentor those players. So for those reasons, it was a good fit for us. Obviously, the women's team has been incredible. Kelly did an incredible job, but we felt like from a interconnected standpoint, and it was really gave us an opportunity to really again have that pipeline come through and be very consistent and give those opportunities to the players that have been so loyal to FC Tucson and performing so well at the girls' academy and the high school level. It's an exciting time.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. First game will be this Sunday, Cinco de Mayo. We were just talking about the $5 margaritas out at the out at Keno North Stadium this Sunday.
Fantastic, and the fireworks and the $5 Modelos. And listen, we've got the Gona's Taco Truck, out there. The smells are going to be incredible. The Sunnyside Mariachi performing and doing the national anthems as well. Just really excited to be out there and to get soccer playing already. We're really excited to be out there again.
Outstanding. Well, we're looking forward to another big-time season of League Two soccer out here with FC Tucson. Looking forward to getting some of these kids on the air and kind of finding out a little bit about who they are. John, we'll talk to you again very soon.
Thank you so much, Dave. Really appreciate it.
John Perlman, he is the team president of FC Tucson. Second season at USL League Two, path to pro. And they'll be on the pitch this Sunday night over at Keno North Stadium. All right, it's DK on the sports tip. Clark Candiotti is going to join us in the next hour. He starts on Saturday nights. He's the Saturday night starter for your Arizona Wildcats. He is also the son of a longtime big leaguer in Tom Candiotti. We'll talk to him about life as a Major League Baseball son and his path here to Arizona, which took him to 4 schools before he landed in Tucson. With J.W. Madden and Cricket, I'm David Kelly. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions at Ina and First Avenue and Ina, heavy eastbound backups eastbound Ina, approaching First Avenue. Also Grant and Tucson Boulevard and Grant Road is clearing. Westbound side of I-10 picking up as you approach Ruthroff, and more slowing at Ajo and Mission. Clear in 61 overnight, 90. Sunny and breezy this weekend, and 91 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And even cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Most financial advisors I know have had a moment in their career where they thought, with more control, I would do things differently for my client's sake. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and our firm was created by advisors with the understanding that we need flexibility, control, and decision-making power to create the best experience for our clients. If you're an advisor interested in learning more about our growing firm, call me at 719-1433 to talk more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Remember to tune in to Wildcats Radio 1290 for the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12, because that's how we roll. We go on the air 4 hours before every football and men's basketball game all season long. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Fun for the crew, fun for the family, fun for everyone. Dave & Buster's is the place to be for all things fun. With hundreds of awesome games, massive screens showing every single game, and their incredible menu of top-notch food and drinks. There's no better place to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's. Make Wednesday the highlight of your week at Dave & Buster's by experiencing half-price games on Wednesdays. That's right, every arcade game half-price. Dave & Buster's at Tucson Marketplace, your Wednesday game day viewing spot.
And that's why Alaska vacations are going to be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're gonna love this. Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an Alaskification right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out. Right, because when Alaskan AC Alaskifies, we do more than just tune up your AC. Exactly. So my idea is...
We clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough Alaskification.
But best part is, Alaskifications come with a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee.
But a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy. Okay.
And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to Alaskify the city. But...
And I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But... Cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at alaskanac.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
PSA for anyone who's not the best at remembering dates. Mother's Day is May 12th. Luckily, finding something she'll love is easy. Just go to Kohl's. I got a Sephora fragrance set for $35. Then with the extra 20% off, I scored cute PJs for just $19.99 and jewelry for under $30. Plus, I earned Kohl's Cash and found even more great prices across the store. Yep, it doesn't get better than Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end May 12th. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Coming to you live from High Corbett Field. It is Arizona baseball tonight as the Wildcats getting set to take on the Stanford Cardinal. First game of a 3-game series. Wildcats start the weekend tied for first place in the Pac-12 Conference with the Utah Utes. 9 conference games to go. 3 conference weekends remain for Arizona baseball. 2 of those will be right here at High Corbett Field. They'll play Stanford this weekend. They'll play at Utah next weekend, and then they'll finish the conference season here at home against Oregon State. And again, like I mentioned, tied with the Utah Utes right now are your Arizona Wildcats for first place in the Pac-12 Conference, looking to rebound after losing 2 out of 3 last weekend to the Washington Huskies up in Seattle. Utah, Arizona, 14-7. Oregon State, the other team that Arizona will play down the stretch, is 12-8, so they're a game and a half behind the 2 front runners. Oregon 12-9, 2 games back. USC 11-9, 2.5 games back. Stanford is 3 games back at 11-10 as they enter in this weekend. Then California, Arizona State, Washington, Washington State, and UCLA are bringing up the rear. Games tonight. One game, UCLA is playing out of conference this weekend. The other conference games scheduled on the schedule for this evening include Utah at Oregon, California is at Southern California, and I believe Arizona State is hosting Washington this weekend. That is the schedule as it stands right now. Washington State will be playing at home as well against Oregon State this weekend. So that's what we've got on tap for the Pac-12 Conference as the Wildcats try to go back on top. Now, we want to update you on what's happening over at Robson Tennis Center. Arizona men's tennis, number 9 Arizona men's tennis, playing in the first round of the NCAA regionals today against Boise State. The Wildcats won the doubles point thanks to a couple of wins in tiebreakers by Colton Smith and Jay Friend and Herman Horyal and Eric Padam, both winning their matches in a tiebreaker. The Wildcats now lead 2-0 as they have picked up one singles match. Number 2 singles, Jay Friend wins in straight sets, 6-love, 6-3. So the Wildcats now lead 2-0. Of course, it is a college tennis, so Arizona needs to get to 4 points. Colton Smith in number 1 singles ended up losing his first set, so he is the only one of the remaining Wildcats who did not win the first set. He lost in a tiebreaker 7-6. Smith, though, leading 1-0 in set number 2. Wildcats may not need him, but you never know. Gustav Strom in number 3 singles won his first set 6-3, but is trailing in his second set 4-2. Herman Horyal won 6-4 in the first set, leads 6-5 in the second set. Looks like Casper Christian is going to get that third point for Arizona. He won the first set 6-3, leads in the second set 5-2, so he needs just one more game to wrap that up. And then in number 6 singles, Nick Legave won the first set 6-4 and is tied 2-2 in the second set. Arizona looking to advance to take on Auburn. Auburn knocked off Pepperdine in the first match of the day here in Tucson by a score of 4-3. J-Dub, you play much tennis?
Yeah, I was the most improved tennis player at the Racket Club back in 1984 or something like that. I got a question for you, though. Can you do that whole revised thing about how the U of A tennis team is doing, but in like a whisper voice? Because that was they had a little bit too much energy there. I think when we talk about tennis play-by-play, you got to almost golf it up.
Right?
A little bit more quiet, I think.
Yeah, that's probably why I've never done any tennis play-by-play, because I'm not really capable of that.
I did play tennis, DK, until I could no longer return serves because the players I was playing against had been doing it their whole lives.
Oh, wow.
When I was older in high school, I'm blanking on her name, but I drove a person who was a couple of classes under me to practice at like 5 a.m. because she was ranked. She was like one of the top 100 ranked players in the country for her age. So definitely been around that world, but I knew when my hand-eye coordination with the racket was not enough to be able to return the serves that probably not to continue playing competitively. But I like having fun. It's great fun.
And it's great exercise. That was one of the things I always talked about in terms of tennis is that I loved the exercise that you got out of playing.
I was into tennis and swimming and other things until I kind of got lost in basketball, and that was like 11 or 12, and then from that point on, it was, other than some long-distance running, it was pretty much all basketball all the time.
Yeah. All right, so yesterday, J-Dub, in the NBA, we had a couple of we had some strange things happen. Let's just put it that way. The Pacers closed out the Milwaukee Bucks 120-98. How about our guy T.J. McConnell? 20 points, 9 assists, 4 steals in that closeout match.
Yeah, I mean that's the guy who wasn't going to play this year, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if that's not the epitome of never give up on a situation, right there, because he was not supposed to get many minutes at all.
Yeah.
And we played the cut at the beginning of the year with Rick Carlisle, and now he in a closeout game 6. He comes off the bench and puts the lights out on the Bucks.
Look, man, we all hear terms like scrappy to describe a player who's unathletic, and it's kind of disrespectful. But the thing about T.J. McConnell is he's always, he's a son of a coach, grew up in that life. He's always been the ultimate competitor. He's always cared only about one thing: winning basketball games. Now, he's also maybe not the quickest of foot, maybe doesn't have quite the vert. His shots come along quite a long way since he was here on campus at the U of A. But the reasoning behind that decision was really that Andrew Nemhard was coming and that projecting out, Nemhard would be a better backup long-term for Halliburton than TJ McConnell would. Everybody knows exactly who TJ McConnell is and what he can bring. Now, here we are, DK, in actual meaningful postseason games. First playoff win for the Pacers in 10 years. And that's the exact guy you want to come into those games because that's the guy who's going to do whatever it takes to win games. 4 steals, not surprised by that. You get surprised a little bit when he scores over 20, but I'm never surprised when TJ McConnell makes game-winning plays and decisions that helps his team pull out the W.
So the Pacers move on. They will face the New York Knicks in round number 2. The Knicks take out the Sixers 118 to 115. Well, before we get to that, there was the nonsense of the Bucks game involving Pat Beverly, and I'm not going to go too much into it because you've probably heard it on every single talk show if you've been listening to the station all day long. Zach Gelb talked about it on his show before we came on. Jim Rome got into it heavily, but Pat Beverly's act, it continues to be tired. And Jada, we were kind of talking about it, in the hallway for a guy that's not really a frontline player. He sure acts like he is.
Yeah, well, the big problem, DK, is yesterday was the last game of the 5-year window that he made for himself. Do you remember that comment?
No.
Back with the Clippers, he said, the next 5 years are mine. And yesterday ended that 5-year period. And so, as if Pat Bev needed anything else to get under his skin. I mean, he's always been an agitator. He's always been a guy who tries to, rattle the players that he's guarding. Throwing balls at fans and then throwing them again at fans, and then the act he had with the reporter afterwards. Word is that he's now banned for life from ever appearing as a guest on ESPN programming. So, yeah, I mean, I think Patrick Beverly is just a bit of a sore loser at this stage. I mean, we all know about his antics when he's in games, but, the pushing in the back of Chris Paul, all this stuff, throwing balls and stuff, it's just there's a time and place to be an agitator on the court because it helps your team win, because you're getting under the skin, maybe causing a silly technical on the other side. That's what he's trying to do. But then the game ends, DK, and there's professionalism. There's that stuff is keep that gamesmanship stuff on the court. Professionalism is not throwing basketballs at fans sitting courtside because they're giving you a little grief that your season's over. I mean, that's about as unprofessional as it gets.
Pacers will play the Knicks in the next round. Knicks eliminate the Sixers 118 to 115. They win that series 4-2.
Can we rename them the New York Wildcats?
New York Wildcats?
Yeah, because the Villanova guys are really Josh Hart, and Brunson are the ones who won that game last night for them. Those guys are really playing great. I love to see three college teammates all on the same team in the NBA making game-winning plays playoff time. I don't think I've seen that before. So, yeah, I've never been. I'm not here rooting for the Knicks, but they also. You're talking about the Pacers winning one series in 10 years, DK. This is the third time that the Knicks have won a series since the year 2000. Yeah. So, we all know about that fan base and how excited they are and Mecca basketball, that stuff. There's no doubt that some of the greatest players of all time, especially ball handlers, come out of the city, and the franchise itself has been long-suffering fans. So it's good to see. It should be a good matchup between those two teams. Unfortunately, Giannis wasn't able to go, so that Pacers Bucks series wasn't great. But I'm looking forward to the Pacers Knicks series for sure.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference the Eastern Conference first round was just a bunch of series that had key people missing and really. Changed those series. No Giannis, obviously, for the Bucks. No Jimmy Butler for the Heat. I mean, there was a lot of star power that was absent from the first round on the Eastern Conference side of it.
What do you think is going to happen tonight? You think it's going to be a close game with your boys, or do you think it's going to be another blowout like we've seen?
I would not be surprised if they got blown out again. They have not played well on the road at all. That game has just started. The Cavaliers and Magic in game number 6. Cavaliers can close that out with a win. And the other series, Dallas and L.A. Clippers, the Mavericks can close that series out with a win at home. And the Lakers have fired Darvin Ham today, which means LeBron James is going to have another head coach next season. If he
I had to look it up. DK. This would be his 10th. So he's had 9 so far in his career, 20 seasons. I think the stories maybe 10 years ago about LeBron being a coach killer or whatever those whispers were, you haven't heard that as much lately. But clearly, when you have one superstar player, all-time leading scorer in NBA history, who's gone through so many coaches, you kind of have to wonder. There has to be some, maybe Darvin Ham's style didn't fit best with what they wanted to do. I don't know. I know that when you're with an organization, a franchise like the Lakers, and you have 2 all-NBA level players on your team with some good pieces around, the expectations are more than the first round. So, I don't think anybody's surprised by this choice.
Not at all. Not at all. All right, coming up, Clark Candiotti is going to join us, the Saturday night starter for your Arizona Wildcats. We'll talk to him about growing up in a big league home. Although he did because his dad worked in the big leagues, but his dad, I think, was actually retired from baseball probably before Clark was even born. So I'm not sure how much of his dad's actual playing career that he remembers, but I remember his dad's playing career. In fact, I was at one of his dad's best starts ever. We'll talk about that with Clark Candiotti. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Ina and First Avenue and Ina, collision occurred there. We've got slowdowns both directions on Ina approaching First Avenue. However, eastbound traffic on Ina approaching First. More backups there. Also, we've got collisions at Campbell and Skyline, Cold Road and Sunrise Drive, and also Columbus north of Speedway Boulevard. 61 the low, 90 sunny and breezy this weekend, and 91 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
What makes 1290 different than any other radio station in Tucson? 1290 is the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Winner! This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out. My feet are stuck. In what, honey? On the floor. Take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Year after year, Lerner Rowe is voted best personal injury law firm in Arizona. You may wonder why. The answer is quite simple. Lerner Rowe is so popular because we give every client excellent service and a superior experience. But also the main reason is results. We've recovered billions of dollars for our clients with over $1 billion collected in the last 5 years alone. Our phone lines are always open and our legal team is standing by right now, waiting for your call.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope. Whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons, he knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself.
Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
And that's why elastifications are gonna be so important.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You're gonna love this. Speak for yourself.
Make it quick. We have to remind people that getting an elastification right now means cool, comfortable air all summer.
Okay, so check this out. Right, because when Alaskan AC elastifies, we do more than just tune up your AC. Exactly. So my idea is...
We clean, test, tighten, and bring your AC back to the way it was when it was installed.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. People don't realize most of the repairs we do could have been prevented through our thorough elastification.
But best part is, elastifications come with a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee.
But a whole year of knowing your AC is healthy.
Okay. And if it's time for a new AC, we built the Grizzly especially for Arizona summers.
I'm going to get the technicians ready to elastify the city. But
and I'll make sure the dispatchers are getting our people out fast.
But cool idea, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. See ya.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Coming to you live from High Corbett Field as we get set to open up this Arizona baseball weekend against the Stanford Cardinal. And pleased to be joined right now by one of the starting three in Chip Hale's rotation, the guy that is going to get the ball on Saturday nights and has done so all season long, Clark Candiotti. Joining us. And Clark, first of all, let's just talk about your college career because it has been a whirlwind. Arizona is the fifth school that you have played for. What have you taken away, you think, from all of these schools along your college journey?
Well, first, I just want to say thanks for having me on, and I'm grateful for the time. Throughout my college journey, I've taken away a lot. Being in different atmospheres and being with different people, you get to have a different experience everywhere you go. And I think no matter where you're playing at or what the conditions are, the game's always the same. And just to be as consistent as possible, no matter where you're at. So I think that's kind of the most important piece I got to take away.
Obviously, last year at Wichita State, you were the Friday night guy. What kind of led to this opportunity for you to come back and finish your career here at Arizona?
I think it was obviously putting up a good season last year and finishing strong. I got the opportunity to go into the transfer portal and just kind of having a season like last year and taking that into this year with Arizona. It's a blessing, and I couldn't be more fortunate to be a Wildcat.
Grew up here in the state of Arizona, obviously grew up in Scottsdale. Was Arizona on your radar at all coming out of high school?
I wasn't really specific on where I wanted to go. I was open to all schools, any schools I wanted to reach out. But I knew it was a big deal. Going to Arizona out of high school, I knew some guys that had that opportunity, and like I said, I'm super grateful to be here now.
Clark Candiotti is our guest, Saturday night starter for the Arizona Wildcats. Comes from a baseball family. Dad Tom Candiotti, longtime major leaguer, 16 seasons, current radio analyst for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I always like to ask the young men that grew up around the game what that was like for you to have that opportunity to kind of have a father who was involved on the major league level.
It's an unbelievable experience. Having basically a coach at home every single day and just growing up around Major League Baseball, it's something that I wouldn't trade for the world. You get to learn from the best players in the world, just seeing what they do on the field and how they carry themselves, and then asking my dad whatever comes to mind and getting a piece of his mind whenever I want. It's the best thing I can ask for. He's always one call away, one text away if I'm not around him. So it's a very big blessing to have.
Yeah, how often are you leaning on him in any given week?
We communicate every day just to talk baseball. He'll still give me a piece of his mind. some advice, some coaching tips. So it's usually an everyday conversation we have.
Clark Candiotti is our guest. What, I guess, Clark, would you say are the top 3 things that he has taught you?
Top 3. That's kind of tough, but I would say number 1 is just to be consistent, because consistency wins over a lot of other aspects. Always play the game hard, and then always play the game the right way. I think those are the 3 big things that I always think to myself, and I think are most important to any player at any level. And I'm grateful to know that from a young age when he taught me that.
Clark, what do you like about this rotation with obviously you in the middle of Jackson Kent and Cam Welty, and what you guys have been able to do, kind of leading this resurgence for Arizona baseball after the slow start?
The thing I like most is that every outing that we have between the 3 starters, we always give the team a chance to win. And I think all 3 of us being consistent all year long, I think that's set us up for success, as long as having a really good offense and a really good bullpen behind us. But I mean, working along with those guys, Jackson and Cam, it's been so awesome just to learn from them and to be around them. But like I said, I think it's most important that we're all consistent and we're all steady throughout the year.
You kind of were a large part of, obviously, the beginning of that long winning streak of both overall and the 11 straight games in Pac-12 play. You guys got that walk-off win against UCLA, and then you came out the next night and were absolutely dominant, going 9 innings, allowing just a run on 4 hits, striking out 12. What was special about that performance and that night for you?
I think about that performance, it was just keeping the team in there and just giving everything I have, like I do every outing, and just kind of giving them my best stuff and not being complacent and not saying, oh, it's late in the game, getting tired. I mean, I never think that. And just going out there and knowing that we're going to win this game and getting everyone on the same page and saying, hey, we're not going to give up. We're just going to keep pounding it, and we're going to give our team every chance to win. So I think it was a really special night, especially kind of having an outing like that. I think it was fit well for that series.
Now, that is the only game, Clark, this season where you've gone past 7 innings. Did you think you'd be able to go deeper into games this year than what we've seen?
Yeah, I have full capability of doing so. Throwing 100 pitches, 130 pitches. I've done it in junior college for 2 years. But yeah, it's something that I strive to do every outing, is just to go as long as I can until the ball's taken away. But I mean, it was one of those games where everything kind of clicked and just kept rolling, and sure enough, got to the 9th inning. But like I said, my only job is to give the team a chance to win, no matter how far I go.
So what did Dad say to you after that game? What did he say he liked about the way you worked that lineup that night?
He really liked my presence out there and how I handled the situation and not getting behind in counts later on in the game and not letting the pressure handle me. And I don't ever let pressure dictate the game. But it was more so like presence on the mound, and it was consistent all the way from the first inning until the 9th inning, and nothing really changed based on how the game was going.
Clark Candiotti is our guest, Arizona Wildcats starting pitcher in the Saturday night role. So now tonight, obviously, Jackson gets the ball to open up this series against Stanford. What's your role tonight and how you look at this game to get ready for tomorrow night?
I think just like every Friday, studying the team and seeing what their tendencies are and seeing if they're aggressive and just kind of understanding the lineup that they put together. And obviously, it might fluctuate with tonight facing a lefty and then facing a righty tomorrow. But it's just understanding what guys' tendencies are. And then along with that, I mean, staying behind Jackson and staying behind the rest of the team the whole way. So, I mean, it's a good learning experience just to see how teams are the night before you pitch.
Now, are you in the dugout tonight, or do you watch from the stands?
No, just the dugout. I mean, top step of the dugout, watching every pitch, always locked in. So it's always fun watching Jackson take the ball, and me getting to watch that and then also watching the other team. So it's something special every Friday night.
Now, do you talk to him at all during tonight's start, or do you just kind of let him keep to himself as he's going through the outing?
Yeah, I let him go. I mean, I know that feeling when someone tries to come up and talk to you. It's like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm locked in on the game. So Jackson's always locked in. I mean, it's so awesome to see. And as soon as he's done, later on, we'll break it down, say what he saw and what I need to kind of look for as I take the ball tomorrow. But I just let him be and just let him do his thing.
Clark Candiotti joining us, Arizona Wildcats starting pitcher. Okay, Clark, we got 9 Pac-12 conference games to go to try to wrap up a regular season title. In your mind, what does this team have to do to win this race now going into to tonight, tied with Utah at the top at 14-7? What do you guys need to do to come out on top in this?
I think we need to give it everything we have. Just play the same game we've been playing for most of the year. Just be relentless and don't get comfortable because we're tied for first. And just to be consistent throughout the year. I know things get a little tough toward the end. We have some guys down, but, like we talked about in the last couple of days, next guy up. And no matter who it is, just give everything you have. And for us starters, just to keep on being consistent, giving the team a chance to win every outing. So, we just need to stick together and just give it everything we have.
New pitching coach this year for the entire staff, Kevin Vance, obviously your first year working with him. What have you taken away from Kevin's teachings that have kind of helped you along?
Working with him and John DeRoy has been unbelievable. They've helped everybody on our staff so much. And I guess the one thing that really made me have a breakthrough was understanding my body a little bit more and tweaking some things that needed work when I showed up here in the fall, and just understanding how much impact the body has with pitching. It's been unbelievable, and just always focusing in on that. Made some changes and success ever since then.
Now, I know, Clark, you said that in the past that you've kind of just dabbled with the knuckleball for fun on the side. Have you ever actually thrown one in a game at any level?
Not that I remember, no.
Not even in high school or Little League?
No. My brother did in Little League and in high school and in college, too. He threw it competitively, but I'm not the same way. I bet if I put my mind to it and worked on it, I probably could. But, you never know.
What did he talk about why that pitch was so successful for him and why it allowed him to lengthen his big league career?
It's just unique. You don't see a whole lot of knuckleballs. When he played, you saw a few more guys who displayed a knuckleball. But, it's just the uniqueness of the pitch. And, you obviously can't land it in there for a strike. But, it throws guys off, and it's something that a hitter's not very prepared to hit, in my opinion. So I think it's just how different the pitch is from the standard arsenal, and I think when you have a good one, that kind of sets you apart from other guys.
All right, I'm going to ask you this question because I'm a huge Cleveland Indians fan. Grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, old enough to have seen your dad pitch in person. I want you to ask him next time you talk to him about the night he almost no-hit the Yankees at Cleveland Stadium, because I was there that night. Took a no-hitter into the 8th inning, lost it on a bloop single to Mike Easler. Ask him about that game and what was so great about his knuckleball that night.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to ask him about that. I think he's told me that story before, but I want to dive down into that game and kind of see where his mind was at and how everything was kind of unfolding in that moment. So I'm definitely gonna ask him about that.
Yeah, closest I've ever seen to a no-hitter in person was, and I had great seats that night. I think I was like in the 5th row, right behind the first base dugout. That was a good night down at the old stadium. Awesome. At the old stadium for sure. Hey, Clark, appreciate you taking some time to join us. Best of luck this weekend against the Stanford Cardinal, and as you guys go down this final stretch to try to win the Pac-12 championship.
Yep, thank you so much for having me.
Clark Candiotti, Saturday night starter for the Arizona Wildcats, our guest. We're here at High Corbett Field getting you set for Arizona baseball against the Cardinal. Cricket is also with us, and she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collision, Sunrise and Kolb Road and Sunrise Drive, a crash at Ina and First Avenue and Ina. Slowdowns for both directions of traffic on Ina approaching First Avenue, though more backups on eastbound Ina approaching First. Some slowing on the southbound side of I-19 approaching and passing Irvington, also Ajo and Mission busy. Clear skies, 61 overnight, 90. Sunny and breezy this weekend, and 91 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And even cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Here at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we just celebrated 100 years, and it's truck season. And if that truck you've been driving around feels 100 years old, you know where to come. So see us today.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds for just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you gotta say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and term provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou!
He's like you.
800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta.
800-511-3535. Write it down.
800-511-3535.
Ready for a staycation? Hey guys, Taylor Swift here. We're ready. Are you? Keep listening for your chance to win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour this fall. Shake it off. You and your bestie with round trip air, a hotel room for 2 nights, and 2 tickets to the hottest tour on the planet. I'm having a blast on my tour, and I want to fly you out to join me. Your next chance to text a nationwide keyword happens soon. Welcome to the Eras Tour.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With MyLowe's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Hey John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
My heat and air work in a state of disrepair.
I don't have to tell you it's hot. Hi, this is Ron from Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Make sure your home is cool and comfortable all summer long. We routine maintenance can often prevent major breakdowns. Call us before the first sign of trouble. Call today, 520-492-0748 or pictureoxcooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey, Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We've got some breaking news for you. Arizona men's tennis has advanced to the second round of the NCAA men's tennis tournament. They are hosting it over at the Robinson Tennis Center. It just went final during our interview with Clark Candiotti. Arizona shuts out Boise State 4-0. We had told you they got the doubles point earlier. Jay Friend got the first of the three singles points, winning 6-love, 6-3. Casper Christian locked up another singles point, winning his match at number 5 singles, 6-3, 6-2. And Nick Legave wraps up the fourth point needed, taking number 6 singles, 6-4, 6-4. The other matches at number 4, Herman Horial, he had won the first set but lost the second set. He was up 3-2 in the third set. Gustav Strom had won the first set but lost the second set. So Boise State was trying to make a comeback. Colton Smith in number 1 singles had lost the first set but was winning the second set. But none of those matches were needed as the Wildcats wrap it up with a 4-0 win, and they will advance to take on the Auburn Tigers coming up tomorrow. That match will start at 1 o'clock over at the Robson Tennis Center. Get on out and support Arizona men's tennis. They are the number 9 national seed in this event, so there is a possibility that they could host Super Regionals next week. But more than likely, depending on how the seedings play out, if the number 8 holds and can host, then the Wildcats will head out onto the road for that 8-9. I believe that's how that would work for that 8-9 matchup next week. So Auburn, number 24, has advanced. They beat number 41, Pepperdine, 4-3. Earlier today over at the Robson Tennis Center. So congratulations to Clancy Shields and his guys for getting through to the next round. How exciting is that, JW?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Are you?
Not at all. No.
I'm just wondering to see how far they can go because it's just amazing. It's what they've done over there recently and getting a clean sweep. I mean, it's a beautiful day in Tucson.
Good way to start. We don't want to be sweating anything out here this weekend. That would be preferable. We don't want to be sweating.
Nope. Quick and decisive.
Absolutely. All right, so if you want to get in on that, if you were out at the match today, obviously we did not get a chance to see it. I'm going to try to get out there tomorrow and catch that match at 1 o'clock. Or at least maybe a little bit after that for the singles portion. Usually the doubles portion will take about an hour, and then they'll probably get going with singles at around 2 o'clock tomorrow. So plenty of afternoon. You can get on out there and see some of that before the Kentucky Derby gets going. Usually Kentucky Derby, I think here is generally around 3:30, sometime around 3 o'clock. Generally the Derby runs off here in southern Arizona, so you got plenty of time to see some tennis.
It's
before that.
It's like a big prize fight, right?
Yeah.
There's like 3 hours of preamble, and then it all lasts a very brief period of time.
Fastest 2 minutes in sports, man.
That's right.
You wait 5 or 6 hours to get 2 minutes.
Yeah. And everybody tunes in for the entirety of it all.
Yeah, I mean it's the pageantry, it's the horses, it's the hats, it's the dresses, it's the mint juleps, it's the bourbon, it's all of that. And of course, again, Todd Pletcher, Arizona, University of Arizona grad, racetrack industry program, has the favorite. Fierceness is the favorite at tomorrow's Kentucky Derby. Again, if you're going to be watching the Derby tomorrow, we want to hear from you. 520-848-1290. Where are you going to be watching the Derby? I know there are a number of Kentucky Derby parties that are happening throughout southern Arizona. Let us know where the good one is, and we can direct folks out to hang out with you this weekend. If you're going down, I'm going to be at Yacht Rock tonight down at the Rialto. If you're heading down to Yacht Rock, I also want to hear from you. 520-848-1290 if you're going to be down at Yacht Rock tonight.
I got yet another question for you, DK.
Okay.
Do you think Todd Fletcher got the name for his horse from our list of keywords that we're giving away? Well, not us, but that national ticket giveaway for Taylor Swift?
Fierceness?
It sounds a lot like a Taylor Swift song, doesn't it?
It could be. It could be. Very much well so. Mike Lowry is in the building, folks. Mike Lowry will be at Yacht Rock tonight. He's a big Yacht Rock fan. He loves Yachtly Crew. Unless, are they going to make you work overtime here tonight? He's like, nope, I'm going to be out of here. He's like, I told him I'd come down here and help him get going, and then I got to get to the show. So, yeah, it's going to be
places to be.
Places to be, exactly. In fact, I've got the starting lineup for tonight's game. And guess who's in it? Andrew Kane, who we heard from earlier in the show, the Ironwood Ridge grad. Andrew Kane back in the starting lineup. He's going to be the DH tonight and hitting 7th. Brendan Summerhill will lead off. He's hitting .331 on the season, and he'll be in center field. Mason White will bat second at shortstop, batting .310 on the season, 14 home runs, 53 RBIs, leads the Wildcats and the Pac-12 in both those categories. Garen Caulfield will hit third. He is the second baseman. In the cleanup spot tonight, Emilio Corona in right field, hitting .270 on the year. Maddox Mikalakis. I wasn't going to screw his name up this time. Maddox Mikalakis will hit 5th and play third base. How about Emilio Corona, though? 11 stolen bases this season. He is 11 out of 14 this season. Stolen bases is Emilio Corona. Batting 7th for the Wildcats will be, again, Andrew Kane, the designated hitter, the freshman out of Ironwood Ridge, hitting .314, has 6 RBIs in the last 5 games. Tommy Splain will play first base. He will hit 8th. Tommy hitting just .236, so we'd like to see him start to get things going. He does have 5 home runs on the season. TJ Adams will bat 9th and play in left field. TJ making just his 7th start of the season, and he's batting .286 in the time that he has gotten out on the field. Jackson Kent gets the start tonight. This will be start number 12, 3-1 with a .241 ERA, 67 and 1/3 innings pitched. He has 70 strikeouts to 20 walks. Opponents are hitting just .228 this season against Jackson Kent. He'll be opposed by Matt Scott. Matt Scott doesn't necessarily have a high record or ERA. He's 4-6 with a .471 ERA. This is his 12th start. But he struck out 84 batters in 63 innings. So Matt Scott, and you heard Chip Hale say it early on, how good he is. In fact, let's hear from Chip Hale, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. And because, again, I mentioned before, this is the second time these two teams have played, but they played in a Monday, kind of a Monday/midweek after a weekend type situation, and it did not go well for the Stanford Cardinal. And I asked Chip, what can you get out of that particular matchup that you played against them up in Palo Alto?
Can you get a really good assessment of weekend Stanford, playing them in the one game that you did up there, or is it mostly you're looking at the tape of the conference games?
Yeah, no doubt. It really wasn't a good look. They were struggling at the time. They had no pitching left. Their first 2 pitchers are really good. You know, the Matt Scott might be the first pitcher taken when his draft year comes up. So it's going to be exciting to see him in this ballpark against Jackson Kent. Lim has been really good for him, left-hander, and, left-handers have been tough on us. So it's going to be a completely different team. They're swinging the bats much better. So it's a good challenge for us.
When it comes to the struggles that maybe the bullpen's been having lately, do you think that you need the starters to go another inning or two? Even though they've been going 5+ every game, do you maybe need them to get into the 7th?
No, I think that's a bad message for me even to think that, because I think that we have good arms. They've thrown well. As we get to the spring, we get hotter. The field gets harder. Wherever we're playing, runs are going to be given up. We just got to live with that. No one's going to throw shutouts and no hitters at High Corbett Field. It's tough. Yeah. It's really tough. So we just have to live with some runs here and there, and we have to score more. But we're very happy with the length our starter. If we can get 5 or 6 out of them every outing, we're being good shape.
All right, that is Chip Hale talking about a little bit about tonight's ball game. Again, high praise from Chip Hale for Stanford starter Matt Scott, who again is just 4-6 with a 4.71 ERA, but 84 strikeouts in 63 innings. I mean, when you look at the fact that Jackson Kent has 70 and 67, he has 84 strikeouts in 63 innings. That's pretty good, to the point that Chip believes he may be the first pitcher taken in, again, his draft class. He's not coming out this year, is Matt Scott. Matt Scott is a sophomore, so he's got at least 1 year to go, but already being projected as Matt Scott as maybe the number 1 pitcher in the 2025 Major League Baseball draft. That 84 strikeouts in 63 innings equates to 12 strikeouts per 9 innings.
It sounds to me, DK, like he's around the zone a lot, because you're talking about the number of strikeouts he's got. He's also given up 5 runs each of his last 2 starts.
Yeah.
So with that high ERA, and clearly, there are moments where he's hittable, but also, he's clearly aiming to get guys out.
Yeah.
All around the zone.
Opponents, though, are hitting just .213 against him. So I think for him, again, for a lot of these guys, it's walks and timely hits. If you put guys on and you can sometimes give up a base hit that costs you, and that's probably, I would imagine, not having seen Matt Scott, a lot of what is happening to him. Arizona Palm Line going to be in the house again tonight. They were here for the game on Tuesday. I believe they perform on top of the dugouts. They've got the white cowboy boots going tonight, so it'll be, if you're coming out here for the game, you'll have a chance to see the Palm Line perform for you this weekend. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to hear from Xavier Esker. Xavier Esker is a freshman on the Arizona baseball team. He is also the son of the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, David Esker. David Esker, whose teams, if you'll remember, the last time the Wildcats went to the College World Series under Jay Johnson, they got supremely beaten down by a Stanford team that was coached by one David Esker. In fact, Xavier, we had a chance to talk to him earlier this week. He was asked about that particular game that took place. I believe that was 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Now 2021, the last time Arizona went to the College World Series. Growing up Stanford, but deciding not to play for his father, deciding to come here to Tucson and carve out his own identity. Always good to see kids that want to do their own thing, and Xavier Esker is certainly one of those young men. So we'll hear from Xavier Esker. We'll hear from Chip Hale again on Xavier Esker. We're also efforting an interview with Arizona men's tennis. They have just beaten Boise State 4-0. So hopefully we get a chance to talk to one of the guys as well before we get out of here. We've got a little less than an hour left with you, as Brian Jeffries will take the controls coming up at 5:50 as he leads you up to first pitch at 6:05 between Arizona and Stanford. Also,
DK.
Cricket will have more about what's happening this weekend here in Tucson as well, coming up for you in the 5 o'clock hour.
Real quick, I just figured out why Matt Scott's so highly regarded.
Why is that?
He's also 6'7" and 248. That's a big guy.
That's a big guy. Well, what's he? I want to know what he's hitting on the gun. That's what I want to know. What's he throwing? Because I would imagine he's probably maybe throwing pretty good.
And this isn't anything new. I mean, he's second team All-American as a freshman and third team All-American as a sophomore. So,
yeah, I mean, he's a pretty, and I guess he was a kid who played a lot of outfield in high school. So, again, developed that arm for sure, and one of the top prospects on the pitching side coming into next season. So good thing this will be this will be the last time we see likely Matt Scott, unless the Wildcats and Cardinal face off in some type of preseason tournament or something of that nature.
It says here, DK, 98 with a 45-inch ride.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out what 45-inch ride actually means next week. All right. It's DK on the Sports Tip. The gates are about to open here at High Corbett Field. First pitch is a little over an hour away. Stanford and Arizona. We've got J-Dub, we've got Cricket, and you are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Southbound side of I-19, slowing, approaching and passing Irvington. A couple of vehicles off on the right side of the southbound side of I-19 approaching Valencia. Other collisions at Sunrise Drive and Cole Road, Ina and First Avenue. Heavy eastbound backups eastbound on Ina as you approach First Avenue. And for your weather, 61 the low, 90 sunny and breezy this weekend, and 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. I want to shout out those unhinged maniacs in blue and orange. Those lunatics who basically tilted the tightest series in the first round of the NBA playoffs, turning both arenas into their home arena. Whose house? Nick's house. Which house are we talking about? Pick one. It would have been awesome if Knick Fan did what they did to any other team, but the fact that Knick Fan did that to Philly is incredible to me. Give them some credit for bouncing back from a crazy gag job on their home floor to win a gritty elimination game on their other home floor. I'm going to give most of the credit to Knick Fan because that series was really, really close. You might be the real MVP. You're the reason the Knicks had two home floors in that series. You're the X factor because what does it really come down to in a series that tight? The home floor, and the Knicks had it in both places.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you pick up a new pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Bosch Icon wiper blades have up to a 40% longer life than other premium wiper blades. The professional parts people will even install them for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at EasterSeals.com.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Good news, everybody.
We stay on the air with you for an extra 2 hours after every Arizona football and men's basketball game all season long. That's why we are the home of the Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that.
Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2794. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2794. That's 800-575-2794. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wildcats Radio 1290 has a chance for you to win one of 3 trips to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour this fall. Winners receive round-trip airfare for 2, a 2-night hotel stay, 2 tickets to the concert, and $500 in spending cash. This is your text word, cardigan. Text cardigan right now to 95819. That's 95819. Listen weekdays between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. for your text keyword to win tickets to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
The gates are open here at High Corbett Field as we get you set for Arizona Wildcats baseball here tonight. It's the Wildcats and the Stanford Cardinal. We've got kids coming in tonight, Little Leaguers on both the Little League baseball and the Little League softball side of it. It is almost that time of year. Well, they're playing their regular seasons now, so it already is that time of year. But when we refer to Little League season, that is when we're talking about the All-Stars and the runs for national tournaments and Little League World Series and West Regionals, and that'll be getting going here in the not-too-distant future as well. So a lot of these kids trying to make those all-star teams so they can have a summer filled with fun, chasing dreams, of course, if you're on the majors level of getting a chance to go back and play in Williamsport, New York at the Little League World Series. Nothing more fun than dreaming about that when you were 12 years old. It's DK on the Sports Tip. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We're talking Arizona baseball here. We're going to hear from Xavier Esker in this hour, along with head coach Chip Hale on the recruitment of Xavier Esker, how they got him out from under his father's thumb, his father David, the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal. His father won a national championship as a player for the Stanford Cardinal back in the day. And now, and you know what's interesting about Stanford? All of their positions have these fancy endowed names. It's so hilarious. It's it's not just David Esker, the head baseball coach at Stanford. He is the Clark and Elizabeth Nelson Director of Baseball. How about that, J-Dub?
I think that sounds about right for Stanford, if I want to be honest.
I
mean,
think, and that's like par for the course for all of their. Let me see if I can find the entire list here because it's actually really, really interesting. Some of these, I don't know if they're endowed, if they're just like sponsored or whatever, but there's like I remember seeing that. So there is the Bernard Muir is not just the AD. He is the Jackwish and Kinninger Director of Athletics at the Stanford University.
What's his first name again?
Bernard Muir.
Bernard, huh?
Yeah, Bernard Muir. Now, wasn't there a Bernard Muir that anchored at CNN back in the day?
I was thinking more of the Muir family that's very famous in that part of the world.
Well, maybe.
Muir Woods and all that.
Maybe.
But no,
let's see
unrelated, I believe.
Let's see the football coach. What his actual position is. Who is the football coach now? It's Troy Taylor, right? All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's do the men's basketball coach. Kyle Smith was just hired. He is now the Ann and Tony Joseph Director of Men's Basketball. That's his title now. The football team is Troy Taylor. Troy Taylor is the. Oh, this is long. This is long.
Take a deep breath.
He is the Bradford M. Freeman Director of Football / Andrew Luck Director of Offense / Kevin M. Hogan Quarterbacks Coach.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Is it sort of somebody have to like recite the whole title every time you enter a room? Is it one of those kind of deals?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's and I don't even want to. The wide receivers coach, the Krishna Murthy wide receivers coach. That's Tyler Osborne. Even the so I guess all of the football coaching positions at Stanford appear to be endowed. How about that? But that's Troy Taylor has a lot of hats that he wears. He's the Bradford M. Freeman Director of Football, Andrew Luck Director of Offense. Andrew Luck, of course, great quarterback there, played in the National Football League, and Kevin M. Hogan, quarterbacks coach. Didn't Kevin Hogan play in the NFL for a little while?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have played a little bit of football. So there you go. Next time see, now, if there was a Pac-12 Media Day this year, I would absolutely be the one to ask him about that. So tell me about all these endowed titles that you have. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff there
I know,
at Stanford
I lived in Emeryville in the early 90s, and, Silicon Valley had already kind of been doing its thing. But if you think about, how much it's blown up in the last 30 years, what with the internet,
Right.
okay, and all, I'm not surprised that Stanford has always been one of the best, educational facilities in the entire world. We all know that. But the fact that it's right there, in the middle of all those huge companies that have kind of taken over the world in the last 30 years, I'm not surprised that some Stanford alumni have some loose change in their pockets to do some endowing with.
We need some endowments here. Maybe that would help with the cause at the University of Arizona. How about this? The J.W. Madden, Director of Basketball Operations. Do you have any money for that, J.W.?
I'll check my pockets.
Yeah, please do.
I don't know if I can, build a gym or anything. But we'll see what we can do.
Did Dad leave? Did he leave you a bunch when? Did he leave you a bunch? No.
No.
Didn't leave a bag.
Nope, no bags.
Nope. Okay.
No bags in my house.
All right. That's okay. That's all right. All right. So earlier in the week we were talking about the. I want to get to this real quick before we get to cricket, who will be in. Earlier in the week we were talking about the Suns and their situation and what they're going to do, how they can make this right. They don't have a ton of assets. They've got some assets in order to try to get themselves right with this. They traded a lot of assets to get the likes of Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant here with this team. And one of the things that's interesting about professional sports is most executives will tell you that the best way to build a program is through the draft. Drafting players, developing them, that type of thing. Well, it does not appear that is necessarily the philosophy for Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, because here's what he said this week about draft picks and draft assets.
You know, we're an open book. You guys will figure that out. I talk on media day, and I'll talk after the season. I'm accountable, good and bad. And once again, when we're doing great, give the credit to other people. When I blame me, I'm perfectly fine with it. But I feel like the narrative around the house is burning, it's incorrect. The Phoenix Suns are doing great, excellent. Not as good as we want to be, and not as good as we're going to do next year. And that's what we're going to figure out. What do we got to tweak, modify, adjust to win a championship next year? And when we don't win it, or we do win it, even when we win it, by the way. So when we win a championship, we'll have the same thing. And I'll say, shoot, we won it, but we got to get better here and here because everyone else is coming for us. That's how we're going to do it in Phoenix. So get ready. And like I said, if fans like to look in the future and say, hey, I really like that 2031 draft pick because maybe that seventh grader is going to be really good and we're going to draft him and one day he's going to be a player. Like, you ain't going to like the Phoenix Suns because we're going to say draft picks are to get great players. And we, by the way, narrative out there, and I know, Gerald, you got it right when I read what you wrote today. 5 of the next 8 years, we have a first-round draft pick. I know that's not like a cool thing to say out there because people like to, say their narratives. We have no draft picks, but we have 5 of the next 8 years, and we can trade 2 of them next month if we want, right? So, it's not like people say we have inflexibly. What would be a house on fire? We didn't have any players signed. We have our starting 5 signed for multiple years together. Do we have to make some adjustments because that starting 5 didn't win a championship? Of course we did. Of course we do, and we will. And you'll see it, and we're going to try to get some of our other free agents signed and kind of build this back and then figure out how do we tweak, modify to win an NBA championship.
You agree with that mindset there, J-Dub? Because I do not. I do not agree with the belief that you can use your draft assets to get established players. I don't think that's a great way to go about it.
I think it's like this. I think if you look at the roster they have, they've got a win-now roster. So you've got guys who are aging. Booker's got a lot of time in his legs still, but KD and Beal do not. So in this situation, it's probably in their best interest to try to bring in veteran players. If you draft a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, not going to help you next year. You got to get people in there who can help you right now. However, if you look at the best teams in the NBA, DK, that's we're talking about the Denver Nuggets and the Boston Celtics primarily. Those are the 2 best teams. They're mostly homegrown. Most of the players that are contributing in their rotations were drafted by those teams. And the next one I'll talk about, DK, is Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City's roster is just ridiculous. And they're all 25 years and under and all drafted by that franchise because of the Paul George trade and other trades. So can you win a championship by cobbling together pieces, by trading away your draft picks? I think with the roster they have to. DK. I mean, I don't think that you're going to get anybody in the near future from any of the drafts that's going to make such a huge difference or splash right now with this Suns roster. But it's not necessary. If you don't have Hall of Famers on your roster already, you're never going to do that. This is a bit of a unique situation. I think really more than anything, it's making Kevin Durant as happy as possible because that's the guy who doesn't really have a whole lot of time left. And it really has to be in that 2-3 year window if the Suns are going to win a title. Otherwise, that might be it.
And the other thing is, did we see a foreshadowing of this with what we talked about involving the Phoenix Mercury, which is obviously owned as well by Matt Ishbia? They had a chance to be the number 3 pick in this most recent WNBA draft, and they traded that asset away for established players to go along with a very veteran roster that they have on the women's side as well. So a foreshadowing, I think, of the mindset that we just heard there from the new owner of the Suns, Matt Ishbia.
Yeah, very similar, right? I mean, their best player is the oldest player in WNBA history, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, clearly they're also at a win-now situation. I don't think you do that if you're trying to build a championship team. You want to do it from the ground up. But if you already have pieces and you need to add 1 or 2 more to really get over that hump, that's the attitude I think they have right now. We'll see if Ishbia had bought a team, DK, that didn't have players of the caliber of KD and Booker, if his tune may change, that they may be looking forward to those draft picks and what they could surmount to. But as of right now, they got to win. They got to win in the next 2 or 3 years, or else that window is closed.
All right, let's we welcome back the third member of our team, Cricket, for one more round of what is happening this weekend here in southern Arizona. It's going to be 90. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be hot. I think it's also could be a pool weekend kind of thing.
Definitely. And tonight, Yachtly Crew at the Rialto. Where are you going to pre-party again, DK?
We are pre-partying at the playground.
The playground,
The
that's
playground.
right.
So come on by the playground. That's where we'll be.
And you're going to be wearing your captain's cap, right?
Well, no, we only have one captain's cap, and my wife drew the short straw on that, so she's going to be wearing the captain's hat tonight.
You guys going to be upstairs, like watching?
So I may have to buy one. I may have to buy my cap. I think I'm going to buy one tonight because I didn't buy one last time. I'm going to buy one because I don't want to have the same. I want a different style hat than what she has. So, and all the hats they had were the same last time.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I didn't buy one.
All right. So tomorrow night there's an 80s dance party at the Surly Wench that starts at 9.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Two nights in a row. What are you doing to me there, Cricket?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Well, I got more for you. And also tomorrow there is going to be a big Cinco de Mayo Tucson Fiesta tomorrow at 6 p.m. Food and fun for all ages, but after 10 p.m. 21 and up, and it's going to be at the parking lot on Congress east of Stone. And Cinco de Mayo at Trident Grill 1 and 2. Saturday and Sunday, $5 house margaritas, $5 Mexican draft and bottle beer, and $5 tacos, 2 tacos for $5 at Trident Grill 1 and 2 Saturday and Sunday.
Well, after the house hunting, the weekly Sunday house hunting you might find me at Trident 2 there with one of those margaritas for sure.
And tacos.
And if you don't want to do that, don't forget FC Tucson Sunday night at 7. There'll be $5 Modelos and $5 margaritas there at Keno North Stadium for their friendly against Celestiano Guanonato. So join out there as well. Cricket, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And
You
now
too.
she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together with collisions in the final clearing, Ina and First Avenue, Sunrise Drive, and Kolb Road. And on Sunday, there will be a big closure for a special event. On Sunday, La Cholla closes from Star Pass to just south of Star Pass, 4 a.m. until 11 a.m. And also look for lane restrictions on Star Pass west of La Cholla. Law enforcement will be on site to direct you through. 61 the low, 90 sunny and breezy this weekend, and 89 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And even cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
The very best in play-by-play is on Tucson's best sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the home of the Wildcats and NFL play-by-play. This is the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white-on-black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Android users, you can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Remember, the one and only play-by-play home for Arizona athletics is 1290. So if you're listening to Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball, you have it locked on 1290. Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. Gates are open here at High Corbett Field. Arizona and Stanford coming up for you straight ahead. We will have coverage beginning at 5:50 with Brian Jeffries, so a little bit of a shorter show for us than normal, but still some good things ahead for you before we get out of here today. I want to let you know, obviously, a Derby weekend in Louisville, Kentucky, Churchill Downs. Torpedo, talk about names, J-Dub. Torpedo, not torpedo, but Torpedo Anna won the 150th running of the Kentucky Oaks today by 4 lengths on a sloppy track. Remember I said I don't like the mud? I don't want nothing to do with like a mud fest, which is what sometimes, like if you're on the infield on one of these days where it's like really, really muddy, like that you're like, why even dress up? You know what I mean?
Is that a Jim Thorpe reference or what?
I don't know. Torpedo Anna, that's a good one though. Here we go. The winning horse is named after a Louisville area swimmer named Anna Thorpe, who was nicknamed the Torpedo. So there you go. I don't know how old Anna Thorpe is or how far she goes back, but see, sometimes we get the genesis of what these names
And
are
where's
all
she
about.
from?
I'm sorry?
Where's she from?
From Louisville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Anna Thorpe was a swimmer from Louisville, and her nickname was Torpedo, so the horse is Torpedo Anna, trained by Ken McPeak.
Great name.
Who is a native of Lexington, Kentucky. It's his first victory at the Kentucky Oaks. Now, so I've got the official start time of the Derby because we were talking about that earlier. It is expected to go off at 3:57 tomorrow, Tucson time, and it is expected to be a sloppy track once again due to ongoing rain in the area. So there you go. Fierceness remains the favorite for the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby, also known as the fastest 2 minutes in sports, also known as the Great American Race. Despite the fact we talked about yesterday, Fierceness will be in the 17th post position. The only post, how about this, J-Dub? Fierceness will be in the 17th post position. That's the only post in which there has never been a winner at the Kentucky Derby.
It's a curse or something. 150. This is 150th. So that means there's been 149 races, and that position has never won.
Never won.
149 tries.
Never won. Fierceness is 9-5 right now. Sierra Leone 6-1. Forever Young 8-1. Catching Freedom is 9-1. 22 horses in the field for this Derby, and Fierceness again is trained by U of A's own Todd Pletcher. Now we were talking about Bob Baffert, who is not in the Derby, but we understand that he is going to have potentially as many as 2 horses in the upcoming Preakness, and we'll get into that more coming up next week. All right, Xavier Esker is going to be on the field tonight. He's not in the starting lineup for the Arizona Wildcats, and because he's a younger player, he plays a lot with the midweek games. Don't know how much he'll actually play this weekend for Arizona, but his dad is the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, David Esker, and Chip Hale this week talked about the recruitment of one Xavier Esker here to the University of Arizona.
Yeah, we saw him at the area code games our first year. You know, we were over there, and he was a gamer. He played the game the right way. Obviously, he's got the bloodlines. And it was pretty well known that he wasn't not going to go play for his dad. I mean, it just was something that they didn't. I don't think on either side they wanted that. He kind of wanted to, I wanted to give him his dad's number here, and he didn't want to have it. So there was obviously he wants to forge his own way. Another great student athlete, and has been so good for our team in many ways, and we hope in the future we'll get more playing time.
So that's Chip Hale talking about Xavier Esker, who's obviously, I mentioned his dad is the head coach. His mom will be here tonight. His mom, Lynn, is going to be in the house. He also has an older sister named Elle.
Does Lynn have a split jersey or what?
Well, that's a good question. That is the next question. Again, his father played at Stanford, won a College World Series title with the Cardinal in 1987. Played professionally in the Orioles, Angels, and Brewers system. He had an uncle that played at Arizona State, and now he is at Arizona. And Xavier this week talked about who his mom, Lynn, is going to be rooting for this weekend.
Oh, that's been a question that's been going around. She definitely is probably choosing me, just because she's watched my dad a ton, many years. But that was definitely a conversation in the household. But yeah, it's always an interesting one for sure.
What was it like to play that game a couple weeks ago?
Oh, it was awesome. It was incredible. I want to beat everyone. Obviously, that's just the nature of the game and who I am. But it's even sweeter when you beat your dad.
Well, Chip was saying that you didn't want to go play there. Why did you want to maybe kind of go out on your own and have that opportunity?
I always was keen on just making my own path. That was always a conversation in high school. Was like, hey, like, you could come here if you wanted to. Obviously, like, you're gonna do what you want to do. And Arizona is such a historic program. Like, from the moment like this was an opportunity, I knew like this is where I would want to come. So yeah, I'm very pleased with coming here, and it's more fun to beat him than to play him.
Was there a no Cal stipulation?
No, there's not too much bad blood with Cal. Obviously he coached there for quite a bit. But yeah, he kind of let me do my own thing. He's like, hey, like, I'm not gonna like let you make a bad decision, obviously. But he gave me freedom, and so obviously this is where I ended up. But there was definitely no bad blood with Cal.
Do you guys try to avoid kind of talking shop during the season because you're in the same conference?
That's a funny one because I always would hide stuff from him. Like, I wouldn't tell him like what I was doing or like what I was hitting off the machine. I wouldn't tell him. I didn't want to give him any information. But yeah, he's definitely more father, and then coach. That's a big one. I know. Like, we obviously have a great coaching staff, so like I don't need another coach to be helping me. Like, I trust in Chip, I trust in all the coaches and Toby and all those guys, and my dad trusts in them too for me. So definitely more father.
He said you didn't want his number either.
No, yeah, I wanted to do my own thing. I obviously before I realized he was retired, I was like number 9, just because it was one up from number 8, and he's number 8. And so the next one was number 10. So I'm like, yeah, I'll be number 10. I'll double up him.
So you redshirt the first year, and now you've gotten some time here and there. How have you adjusted to this kind of role that you have, but not necessarily knowing when you're going to get in?
I got you. I mean, it's always about winning, right? Like, obviously as a competitor, like, you kind of realize that it's you're going to do whatever it takes to help the team, right? And so obviously you can't be a selfish baseball player in a scenario like this. All you got to do is when the coaches put you in, you just give it your all, and just understanding that you can be productive in a multitude of ways. And so obviously, whenever they want me in, I'm gonna give 100%, and yeah, I just want to help win.
What's the conversation like in the clubhouse after a game like last night?
Well, we know that where we're headed is a good place, right? We our process is going to bring us success. We know that. Obviously, baseball's unpredictable, right? There's games like that where you get run ruled, and there's games where we run rule, like we run ruled Stanford a couple weeks ago, and as cliche as it sounds, that's just baseball, right? But we're all maintaining confidence, and We're sticking by the process that has brought us success so far. So we're not too worried. We take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, like all of us hate losing, right? It just adds fuel to the fire.
What is some of the best advice your father has given you about the game?
Honestly, the best advice that he can give me is to relax. I know it sounds pretty simple, but one thing is play carefree, not careless. So the difference in the two is careless is you're not focused and you don't really care, and carefree is you're playing without any fear of failure, and that's going to bring you success. And I feel like you can apply that to any facet of the game, and I feel like our team embodies that quite a bit because we're all pretty fearless and we all just do whatever it takes.
When you were coming up through the ranks as a youth baseball player, teenager, whatever, your dad is coaching, right, in college. How much involvement did he have? Was he able to find the time to coach you as well?
Growing up, pretty different than the typical, so to say, travel ball dad. He wasn't super living through my success, I guess. He wanted to help me find success, but he wouldn't get angry if I was failing or it's funny, like growing up, the only things he really cared that I would do was to play with energy and to just be supportive of my teammates. And obviously the game will teach you, right? As you get older, you get better, and that's just how it goes. But I would say that he was pretty, I'd say loose in a good way. He let me find my own way. He let me learn the lessons that I needed to learn. But he obviously helped me too. Like he was in high school really helpful for me. He helped me with just everything, hitting, throwing, fielding. Like he's been there for me the whole time. But he definitely knew when to lay off the gas.
As a youngster, freshman, how do you best support your teammates?
It's just whatever role you're in, do the best you can do. So whether you're on the bench and you might get a pinch hit late in the game when they need you, you just got to be supportive. You got to be loud. You got to bring energy no matter what. Or if you're on the field, picking up another teammate, then you're gonna make every play you should make and make an impact in the box. I think it depends role to role. But whatever it is, you just got to make sure that you're doing whatever it takes.
Were you at the 21 World Series when both Stanford and Arizona were there?
I believe I was, yes. Those were interesting ones because I wasn't yet committed to Arizona. And so obviously at that point I was cheering for Stanford, but definitely not anymore, And it would be fun to bring it back to them,
All right, that is Xavier Esker, who is the son of the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, David Esker. He is a freshman here at the University of Arizona, and he had a hit and an RBI the last time these two teams got together in that 12-1 game up at Palo Alto. All right, I want to tell you about a sweet deal I've got available for you right now from St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic School. You can get a year of tuition, which normally is $7,600, for just $3,800. That's half price. That sweet deal is going on right now. Head on over to WildcatsRadio1290.com. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic School, daily religion classes with a focus on moral, spiritual, and character development. The classes average about 16 students. Consistently, their students score well above the national average in math, reading, and language. They've got daily enrichment classes, including music, art, PE, technology. At the junior high level, you can also get 3D design and printing, as well as multidisciplinary engineering and Latin. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic School was voted the top middle school at the Southern Arizona Regional Science and Engineering Fair. And I've got a sweet deal right now at WildcatsRadio1290.com. So head on over there. You can get a year's worth of tuition. A year's tuition. Normally $7,600 for just $3,800. That's courtesy of Wildcats Radio 1290. All right, DK on the sports tip. We're going to take a break, come back, and finish this thing up. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Some busy travel at Ahaway and Mission, also some slowing at the southbound I-19 frontage road approaching Irvington. Closure on Sunday, La Cholla Boulevard closes from Star Pass to just south of Star Pass, 4 a.m. until 11 a.m. for a special event, and expect law enforcement in the area to direct traffic. 61 the low, 90, sunny and breezy this weekend, and 88 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
John brings his skewed sense of humor. Jeff brings tips to cut strokes off your next round. Together, it's those weekend golf guys.
They'll pay a lot of money to PXG and Titleist and Callaway and on and on and on, right? How many yards do you think you're going to pick up with that extra driver? I think I can get an extra 5 to 10. What if I give you 15 to 20? You pay me more.
Jeff Smith teaches on the sliding scale.
Those weekend golf guys, the podcast, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients. Don't pay for water, pay for clean.
Save $10 when you spend $30 on Tide and Downy. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item, plus at least one participating Downy and or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in Southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Taylor Swift.
It's not too late for you to experience the Eras. Taylor brings the tour back to the U.S. this fall, and we put you in the running to see her in style. Win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift, including round-trip air, 2 nights hotel, $500 spending cash, and 2 of the hottest tickets on the planet.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
All right, you've got 1 week left to go to get in on this exciting chance to see Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour, courtesy of Wildcats Radio 1290. I've got 5 more days of keywords coming up after today. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's it. So I'm going to give you your keyword for right now to text to 95819. That's your short code, 95819. Put that in your phone, and then text the word cardigan. C-A-R-D-I-G-A-N. Cardigan. Text cardigan to 95819. Your chance to be one of the grand prize winners to see Taylor Swift, round-trip airfare for 2, 2-night hotel stay, 2 tickets to the Eras Tour show in Nolens in October, plus $500 cash that you can spend on crawfish and all kinds of delectables that you can find down in the food capital of the United States, New Orleans, Louisiana. Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour, courtesy of Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, final stages of the show here today as we get you ready for Arizona Wildcats baseball. Brian Jeffries coming your way at 5:45 actually today. 5:45, a little bit earlier than normal. This will be the one of the final 2 homestands we've got coming up this year for Arizona baseball, as it'll be Stanford this weekend, and then the Oregon State Beavers will come to town May 16th, 17th, and 18th. That'll be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. We'll be out here for our final show on Friday, May the 17th. We'll have some programming announcements for you coming up next week. We'll have a short week of shows as I've got to go back to Ohio for a wedding. So we'll be on the air Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday the following week. And so that'll be the week of the Oregon State series to wrap up Pac-12 conference plays. The Wildcats will go out on the road. Huge, and I mean huge Territorial Cup Series game Tuesday night at Arizona State. We'll have coverage of that game for you as well here on Wildcats Radio 1290 with Brian Jeffries, as the Wildcats need to win that game to earn a split of the Territorial Cup Series point. They could also obviously face off those two teams at the Pac-12 tournament. So we could, if the Wildcats get a win and get a split at the moment, we could get a tie-breaking game at the Pac-12 tournament, much like we got with the Territorial Cup Series point for beach volleyball, where Arizona State broke the tie with a win in the Pac-12 tournament over the Wildcats. So.
Speaking of back to Ohio, DK, your boy Donovan Mitchell's 28 points, 13 of 20 through with about 7:50 to go in the third quarter, and they're up by 7. So I don't think he wants to go back to Ohio. They're trying to close this out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference first round there, and we've got another Game 6 coming up a little bit later. It'll be the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks as well. So lots of exciting stuff happening on the NBA level and the NHL level. It's win or go home night for the defending champions in the NHL. The Vegas Golden Knights must win. They're down 3-2 against Dallas, so they're looking to try to force a Game 7 in that first round series. That's going to wrap up our coverage. Don't forget Arizona men's tennis tomorrow at the Robinson Tennis Center at 1 o'clock in the second round of the NCAA tournament against Auburn. Thanks to John Perlman for joining us. Thanks to Clark Candiotti for joining us. For JW Madden and Cricket, my name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great weekend, everybody. Yacht up and bear down, Arizona.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on, with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops.